And in another way too, like, I know people have said this. I don't know how, I haven't done in-depth research or truly like thought it out, but in one sense, I kind of agree with people like that. I would almost rather a government that is far away from me, has nothing to do with me. I would rather TikTok be in China and they want to collect my videos or whatever. Like, I feel safer with a foreign entity doing that than with my own government to a certain extent. Um, I remember going like on a date a long, long time ago, and someone was like, "I never used my real birthday because like they're collecting data," and I kind of at that time was like, "This feels like a tinfoil hat kind of outlook on life," but then being SA'd by a doctor and having really uncanny coincidences, where it almost felt like when he touched me and things like it felt like he saw Facebook private messages, or like there was really weird things and a lot of uncanny coincidences. And but I think that, yeah, in a weird sense, it almost feels like I would rather TikTok stay in China and let them collect the data than versus our own government, who, even if it's just metadata collected, like a human gets to see that eventually, and like it can be manipulated and used in heinous ways. Unfortunately, I think that thinking that doctors are certain people that are seen in society, like placed on a pedestal of being good ethics or morals. We've seen teachers. I've always had great relationships with my teachers, and it's sad to see that in the news a lot of female teachers are assaulting underage 10, 8 year old boys, that like, and they're not getting sentenced, or they're getting like 2 to 3 months, and that's crazy that a grown adult and someone that doesn't even have their brain fully developed, like that they're assaulting, but because it's a woman assaulting an underage versus a man assaulting an underage, there seems to be a double standard. And I think that I just, yeah, I think that there's just, I think it's hysterical that TikTok is like the government's worried about that. It should tell people how much information these apps are collecting about us, and they've been using our own tax money trying to. There's a gray area where it's cheaper for them to actually buy our information than for them to try and get a subpoena. Yeah, so there's a gray area basically right now. It's kind of crazy because we give so much money to Israel, and they literally have teams like Pegasus that literally go, like, their only job in Pegasus is to learn how to hack like iPhones, and to collect data that they're basically willing to sell to anyone that has the money that can afford it. It's a gray area and people don't realize it. I think we see it with like cameras, when hackers have hacked into like a child, like a camera that's in a nursery watching a child, and these hackers have been like heinous and said disturbing things to children. I think that brings it more home to people. But I think when it's just like Facebook, or changing the company to like Meta, which is basically collecting all of your metadata, I think we're much more lenient, and we don't really realize the true ramifications yet of how technology is basically shaping our lives, and our futures even, and the way that it advertises, and the way that it shows us only certain news media and creates echo chambers. I don't think we really realize the true ramifications of how much of this is our reality versus the reality that technology wants us to see. Yeah, just random thought.